Every year, the Institute of Economics and Peace releases its Global Peace Index report. This report is the only one its kind that measures how dangerous or safe a nation is based on 23 different indications, including political terror, death from internal conflict, and murder rate. The GPI report evaluated 163 countries with a count of over 99% of the world total population. The facts analyzed in the report are grouped into three different areas: safety and security, ongoing conflict, and militarization. Below are the 10 most dangerous countries in the world. The majority of these countries have a level 3 or level 4 travel advisory from the US Department of State. Number 1 is Afghanistan. Afghanistan is the most dangerous country in the world. According to the 2019 Global Peace Index, according to the UN peacekeeping mission in Afghanistan, the country experienced 3,804 civilian deaths in conflict, 927 of whom were children. Afghanistan experienced deadly attacks from the Taliban across the country, and the US is now its 19th year of war in Afghanistan. Afghanistan has the highest number of deaths from war and terrorism than any other country in the world. Number 2 is Syria. Syria is the second most dangerous country in the world. Syria only recently was put in second by Afghanistan. The Syrian civil war has plagued the country since March 2011 and has been the second deadliest war of the 21st century. An estimated 470,000 people, including 55,000 children, have been killed in Syria conflict. High levels of violence have been persistent throughout Syria, including the use of small arms, tanks, chemical weapons, artillery, and aircraft. As of March 2019, 5.7 million people have fled Syria and over 6 million have been displaced internally. Number 3 is Iraq. The third most dangerous country in the world is Iraq. Iraq continues to have both internal and external conflicts, including likely terrorist attacks. ISIS continues to capture and kill civilians and Iraqi armed forces. Other human rights violations, including violation of freedom of assembly and women's rights, have persisted. US citizens visiting Iraq are at particularly high risk for violence and kidnapping, and are a target of anti-US sectarians throughout Iraq. Number 4 is South Sudan. South Sudan is the fourth most dangerous country in the world. South Sudan has ongoing conflicts, civil unrest, and widespread violent crime, including robberies, assaults, carjacking, and kidnappings. Armed conflict exists mostly between the government and opposition groups, with little to no rule of law or order outside the country's capital of Juba. Areas near South Sudan's borders with Sudan, Kenya, Central African Republic, and so on are particularly dangerous. Additionally, South Sudan is at high risk of climate disaster. Number 5 is Yemen. The fifth most dangerous country in the world is Yemen. Yemeni civil war began in 2015 between two factions, the Mansour Hadi-led government and the Houthi armed movement. Yemen has the world's worst humanitarian crisis, according to UN, where 4 years of ongoing conflicts has resulted in 4.3 million people leaving their homes and 14 million people at risk of starvation and outbreaks of deadly diseases. About 80% of the Yemeni population is in desperate need of humanitarian assistance. Number 6 is Somalia. Somalia is the sixth most dangerous country in United States. Somalia has high kidnapping risk in all the parts of the country. Terror attacks are likely at Mogadishu International Airport, government buildings, hotel and restaurants. Foreigners, government officials and UN workers are significant targets of these attacks. Somalia drought, the food shortage have compounded the already unstable environment, and security and effective police forces are absent. Number 7 is Libya. Libya is the 7th most dangerous country in the world. Libya has experienced high levels of crime, civil unrest, kidnapping, armed conflict, and terrorism. The violence of Libya is most caused by militias that continue to clash with one another over territory and resources. ISIS has carried out several attacks that killed both civilians and security forces members. The capital Tripoli and other large cities have been frequent locations of fighting among militias and terror attacks. Number 8 is Democratic Republic of the Congo. The 8th most dangerous country in the world is the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The DRC recently experienced an Ebola outbreak, which has claimed over 2,200 lives according to the World Health Organization. The ability of health workers to provide care to treat Ebola patients has been hindered by violence occurring in the DRC. Demonstrations are common in the cities around the country and often turn violent. Violent crimes are common as well, such as armed home invasion, robberies and assault, and police lack the resources of effectively respond to the crime. Number 9 is Central African Republic. The Central African Republic is the 9th most dangerous country in the world, despite a peace agreement signed in 2017. Chaos in the country has continued to grow and spread. The main sources of unrest in the Central African Republic is the clash between the Seleka rebels and the anti-Balaka militias. The conflict has displaced 620,000 people internally and created 570,000 refugees living to neighboring countries. Kidnapping are widespread, as are reports of violence, looting and human rights abuses across the country. Number 10 is Russia. Russia is the 10th most dangerous country in the world. Russia's high militarization contributes to its position on the list, along with having one of the highest per capita rates of weapon exports. Russia, unlike the other countries on this list, has a level 2 travel advisory from the US Department of State to exercise increased caution when visiting Russia. Russia is susceptible to transnational and local terrorist groups and individuals inspired by extremist ideologies.